Guys? Greetings and wait, let me start over again. What's up, guys? Greetings and salutations. This is Shadow Society Podcast. I am McMask1610,
And this is Mellow Mocha here.
And this is Q, Queen
the
Q
main
in the
host.
building. Yes,
And
yes.
here on this lovely night, we're going to be talking about the spirit world, heaven, Hades, and all of that good stuff.
Yes, I am excited. So, yes, today's topic is we're going to do a two-part of the spirit world, but today's subject of the spirit world is going to be where do you think not only you, where do people go when they die? Now, those of you who grew up in the church,
The
as
number
like
one question that's
myself,
asked by every child who hasn't been to church.
for those of you who ever been who was born and raised in church, they always told you there's only two ways, two dimensions that you will go when you die, and that's either heaven or
Or
hell.
hell.
So there's others like spirituality that will you be with your ancestors. There are others that say you will ascend. There's others say you will reincarnate. There are others that say like basically you will go in another dimension. There's others that will say you will go back to the planet that you were once at before you came to Earth. There's a whole bunch of you know subject. Well, I wouldn't say subjects. There's a whole bunch of people's inputs and beliefs when it comes to the afterlife.
A lot.
So I'll go last. So which one? Let's start with Mellow Mocha. So, in your opinion, because now a lot of people don't know this, and we said it in the previous podcast, but it first tell us what you think and then share with the audience of what really happened to you where you practically died and came back to life.
Well, I don't know where to start, but I'll talk about my personal experience. A couple years back, I had a condition called asomnia, or no, sleep apnea. And basically, long story short, I had almost passed away in my sleep. So, the vision that I saw, well, pretty much I had sleep apnea and I had sleep paralysis at the same time. So basically, the the image that I remember seeing was basically that I remember it being on a hot day, a hot summer day, and basically I was falling asleep, and in the middle of my sleep, I could literally feel myself floating. I had an outer body experience, so I was basically floating. My soul or spirit was floating through the ceiling, and basically I was able to see myself go through the roof, through the ceiling, and as the closer I got to like my body moving up into the skies ended up changing like green, like lime green. And I remember seeing the clouds turn from regular clouds to cotton candy pink clouds. And I remember seeing the sun, but it was so weird because like the sun had a brighter lime green texture, but I could still identify it as the sun. So what I remember feeling was is that I felt super comfortable. Uh like I just felt like if it was my last day on earth, this is the last thing I would want to see. Like I felt comfortable. It was the type of comfort that I've never felt in my whole entire life. Like I felt like I was going home to a place. So I was about to meet my maker. So um, I remember seeing like these light figures. Now these light figures weren't just like, how could I compare it? It was like these light figures reminded me of like shadow figures, but exact opposites. They were light figures. And I remember these light figures was basically walking around, and I remember seeing these light figures basically walking on stairs. Now the stairs, from what I remember, these light figures was walking on transparent stairs. So these stairs was kind of like a third, I want to say multi-dimensional stair. Multi-dimensional stairs. I don't even know how to describe it. But these stairs basically were going in multiple different directions. Now, it kind of reminded me of like an old painting of a infinite stairs. It wasn't a spiral like you see on the movies or fancy houses. These stairs literally went up, down, left, right, diagonally. I want to say like it was a different dimension. I do know that much. It was a different dimensions, and I remember feeling my body actually going through these stairs to the point where I could actually see these stairs as I was passing through these stairs and past these light figures. Like I could literally see from behind myself, and also what I'm passing through at the same time. So.
Wow.
That was my personal experience. And as I continued to be sleep or whatever you want to call it, I was still going through my sleep apnea. And I just remember feeling like, dang, like this is my last day. And I started to think about like my family, my loved ones, everything that reminded me how good life is. I just started shaking myself out of sleep, you know, like I didn't want to go yet. So when I woke up, my body was cold, and when I went to the bathroom, something told me to go to the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror, and my skin was pale, and my lips was like icy blue.
That's some real shit.
That's no coincidence. That's a life-changing experience.
Yes, you was definitely dead because dead bodies are cold and their lips are like blue.
My lips is pink right now.
Right.
So I know I was somewhere else. I just didn't know where I was at. And yeah, it was wild. And I kept thinking to myself, like, dang, like, was I really dead?
Or I was about to say astral project, but I never heard of people who astral project and when they get back into their bodies, their bodies was cold and their lips was blue. Because I was thinking about that too, but that's very interesting. Maybe we'll get some comments, people who have similar experience or know somebody who had the same experience and would get a little bit of clarity of what they think has happened. And yeah, but so and then I keep on here like, especially with that white light that looks like a sun, but as close. I keep on hearing the people who have life after death experience, like as close as they get to light, you would think it would get either hot or so bright where to the point it hurts your skin and hurt your eyes.
Nope.
But nope, it's
not. It was like, come on over, baby.
Yeah, so it's like
over. Welcome home.
Yeah, so follow like maybe the light it was seeing the light, you're going up to heaven. But everybody talk about this bright light that is gives like a warmth, loving feeling. So that's not my first time hearing about that. So yeah, you experienced that, which is crazy because normally, now here's where it gets tricky. I'm gonna leave my comments to myself. So after Face says his, what he think. Go ahead, Face.
Well, wow. That was a riveting, if I'm saying that correctly, story you told us, Melomocha. Honestly, I've never had that experience. I wish I did, but
now you try soon.
But Huh?
I said not anytime soon.
You're right. You're right. But what I could say is, from my personal experience, every time I prayed or ask God for God for forget ask God for forgiveness and tell him thank you for keeping my whole keeping my mother well scratch that. Every time I prayed, it would always feel like he's listening because he was. And from my I experience, everyone has different beliefs. I'm gonna go on with that instead of just yapping, making
Right.
you audience just saying, "What's bro yapping about?" I'm everyone has different beliefs. We live in this. You're telling me we're in this big wide universe, and that's just it? No, no. There's been too many coincidences in the world for me and for everyone else to not believe that. To believe that. People say, "Hey, there's a heaven or hell." People say there's heaven, hell, and purgatory. People, there could be a reincarnation, depending on which it's deity or god you worship. You can go into that astramental plane of existence. You can go into that dimension. That's just how my brain works. That's how my inner machinations of my own mind works. Everyone has different beliefs. And honestly, it's a beautiful thing because we don't know what's on the other side. No,
Right.
no one here will accept Milamoka has gone into the other side and came back and warned the townsfolks. No one.
I'm pretty sure there's other people who have like their own experiences as far as like what they've seen, especially when it comes to like near death experiences. Sometimes it doesn't always take near death experiences to actually to know that there's another realm out there once our time here on Earth is.
Right. And
So
there's other people that experience death and been dead for probably like a couple of minutes and said that it was nothing at all. I don't know if because they were dead for that short period of time, but with me, like I said, I was born and raised into the church. I believe there's a heaven or hell, but okay, let me cook. Let me get how what I believe. Like how Faith said purgatory. I believe in purgatory, the astral world, the ancestor world. I believe all that stuff existed as well as heaven and hell because the Bible, a lot of people only read the Bible and don't have backup references to understand what the Bible is talking about, as well as a whole bunch of books was taken out of the Bible too. I believe that, you know, how does people get stuck in purgatory? How does people get, worship this deity or this entity and get, torture until, probably God cracks the sky? I believe that everybody is, how can I say this so it doesn't sound crazy? But you know what, Bump It? Here's
it's
what I
crazy.
believe. Here's what I believe. How the way you live on this earth is how you probably going to, I won't say spend in eternity, but like spend in that part of afterlife or the underworld until God crack the sky. I don't believe in the rapture, and I know not my family if they ever listen to this, I'm like, what? But I believe in the second coming because the simple fact is that there's no rapture word in the Bible, but people, yes, there's, it says caught up, but you could be caught up in the second coming, but that's a different story for a different day. But I believe, like, for instance, if you worship a deity and you don't do right and you die, you probably will spend in the afterlife with that specific deity until the second coming of Christ. I believe same thing with purgatory, same thing with however you view the afterlife, you're gonna be in that afterlife until second coming come and judgment day comes. And then that's when God judge you, and that's when you either spend eternity in heaven or in the new heaven, because it's gonna be a new heaven and earth made, or you're gonna spend eternity into the lake of fire. Hell and the lake of fire are two different places. Lake of fire has the big
Never
creator.
knew.
Yeah. And um that's what I believe. I believe all that stuff exists. I believe, like, you know, if angels and demons exist, as well as God and Satan exists, but also I believe the Orishas. Now the Orishas could be fallen angels too, because and then they could be gods, but Yeshua, Jesus Christ, or however you want to name him, is the God of all gods. Because in the Bible, God, there's a whole bunch of references of God with ends with an S. So it lets you know that is not there's more than one God. And but there is the Lord of all lords, which is Jesus Christ. So why would you say the Lord of all lords if there's only one Lord or God per se? So it's like I hear and see people that I know personally that told me like their life after death experience, some experience, which, well, you're the first person, Mellow Mocha, that I hear about that, but that's a different experience. Some My friend told me there was nothing, but she was only probably dead for like 10 minutes. And then there was another person that I know that experienced heaven. Then I watch videos where people experience hell. And then I my great aunt, which is crazy, she had this was like whew, back in 1995 or 6. She's long gone now for sure now. um my great aunt, but I remember as a child she told us that when she passed away, will have a life after death experience. She was in a car accident and she actually died before she came back to life. But during the time she was dead, she was looking at herself as the paramedics was trying to bring her back to life. And then she said she looked around her and she stated like it looks like our world, but the afterlife is like neither night nor day. So imagine like a sunset or a sunrise, how the earth looks, whatever. But also she said what's crazy about it, she's seen souls, like people who died before her, that knew that they were dead, and there was others that was like lost, walking in the trance, like their soul, or I don't know, their spirit got lost in the sauce.
Mm.
And she said there was other people that didn't realize that they been dead and tried to try to get attention of their loved ones. She said it was a lot going on. She said she also seen demons flying around, torturing people. Um, and then, oh, I forgot to mention, there was this person, there was a spirit, somebody in our family that died way before her, that was like guiding her, and she was just asking, was this or was that? Oh, those spirits, they don't know they're dead, or this spirit over here did this or did that. And then she said she heard what it sounds like war up in the sky, but she said she couldn't see it because there were so many clouds. And she asked this spirit who's supposed to be our family member a long time ago, like, what is that noise? And the spirit was like, oh, that's the angels and the demons are fighting. They've been fighting up in the sky since Lucifer got kicked out of heaven.
Mm.
And then she woke up. And when she woke up, she was in the hospital. Now, get this. She said that that all that happened seems like it was only for 15 to 20 minutes. She said when she woke up, she'd been in a coma or brought back to life for like 2 weeks. She was in the hospital for 2 weeks. That let me know that first of all, there's no time in the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Nope.
and then but in our life it go by fast. That's why they say God is a patient God, because one day is 1,000 years here, meaning just think about when Christ went back up into the sky after he died on the cross and rose again. He went back up in the clouds on the cloud. you know if you want to be completely honest, if they say 2,000 years went past, that means it's only been 2 days up in heaven since Christ went back up in heaven.
Not trying to change the subject, but y'all all seen Beetlejuice, right? I'm so excited for Beetlejuice to come out.
Oh,
The new
yeah.
Beetlejuice.
I
But
heard it was
you
sucks. I
I,
heard it, but I get what you said. I
I
know where
haven't
you're
seen it.
going.
No, I
know
haven't
where I'm
seen it.
going with this though.
Yes,
Y'all
I know
remember
where you're
when the
going.
couples died in Beetlejuice and they went to another world and they could have sworn they was only gone for like what, an hour or two, and come to find out years went by.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Same
not really.
thing.
Yes, that's what I
Shout
said.
out
There's
to
no time.
Beetlejuice.
When they say God is a patient God, He really is a patient God. But at the same time, it'd be 1,000 years went by on Earth, but it's only been a day in heaven. And you think about that's crazy. And it's just some people talk about like, oh, y'all been talking about God is going to come back for 2,000 years. He haven't came back yet. Well, it only been 3 days. Well, 2.5 days since he went back up to heaven. that that's 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 Kiki right there. That's a Kiki. But yeah, it's like she couldn't believe it. She was like, "Well, that was weird." I remember this, that was weird. This is my great aunt, and she wasn't blood related. It was actually one of my good childhood friends. Her aunt, her blood related aunt, but they were family friends. But I would never forget that. And I was like either in the fourth or fifth grade, so it was like 95, 96, 1996. But she officially passed away not too long after I graduated from high school. So, you know, rest in peace to Aunt Ruth. So, but that was crazy. That was crazy. And it makes me want to think like there's more to it than just heaven and hell. Do
Oh
y'all
yeah.
agree?
Oh yeah.
It's more to it. Because like I said, if you really not a true Bible scholar, like most people say, then there's a whole bunch of stuff in the Bible in plain sight that would tell you this. And we're not even going to talk about the books that was taken out of the Bible. Like, first of all, why were they taken out of the Bible in the first place? That let me know that's important stuff that the 1%, aka dirty, this gonna be on YouTube. The elite elites, the powers must be, don't want us to know
Mm-hmm.
that it's currently under the Vatican. So it's just like it's crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
what do y'all think about the ancestor world?
Could you tell me a little bit more about the ancestor world?
Yeah, I am
Please let me.
intrigued.
And
Like
you know
seeing your
what's
loved ones, like seeing your ancestors.
so basically, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done no research for the ancestor world. I can only tell you about the television shows, like for instance, the originals. Anybody who's a Vampire Diary an original fan, y'all know where I'm going with this. It's basically like, in order to be in the ancestral world afterlife, you have to die as a witch, or a spiritual person or spirituality person that honors the ancestors while you was living, the order to be in that world when you died, or else you won't. So basically, a lot of them honor their ancestors while they're living and do all types of stuff. So it's like I don't know. Like, I gotta do more research on that because, like I said, like for a long time, I've been raised in the church, and for the past couple of years, I just starting to find more stuff. More stuff about the afterlife than just heaven and hell. So, yeah, anybody in the comments, anybody can comment and tell us, what it's like in the ancestral world. So, and it all depends on what deity you serve while you're living. So, if you daughter of a Shun, you probably gonna be with her in the afterlife. That's why I'm assuming.
But yeah, I definitely believe that it's real.
Yeah, it's
Shoot. This is the image that I don't know if the audience can see this or not, but I'm gonna try to pull it up the best way I possibly can. But this is what I've seen. You gotta tell me if I'm going the right way.
okay. Yeah,
Can you
keep it
see
right
it?
there.
I
Yeah.
want you guys to identify, if you can, which way is up, which way is down.
I mean, any one of them could be up.
So I was
It
able
kind
to,
of like Harry Potter. You know how they were the moving stairs?
yeah. But this is exactly what I saw almost. But the stairs was transparent, and I seen light figures actually um, walking up the stairs while I was able to see also the sun too. So, not trying to move backwards, but I just thought I'd try to bring that up again.
Yes, that was very interesting to hear and to know about it. Like, who are the light people that you seen,
I don't know.
and what was
They was
those
faceless.
stairs all about?
They was faceless. They didn't have a face.
Be
I don't
not
know.
afraid, mortal.
You said be not afraid.
I
Oh,
said
those
be not
scary
afraid.
angels, right? Like those some scary angels. That say be not afraid because they really ugly. Well, maybe we're in the spirit, they won't be as scary because we're in the human flesh. So looking at those type of serum, I can never pronounce it. Those type of angels that have one big eye
The
or
seraphim,
multiple
yes.
multiple eyes. Maybe when our spirit is out of this shell, aka this body, it won't be as scary. Because if let one come in here right now talk about don't be scared, I'm gonna die of fright and then be up in heaven asking God why would he make some beings that look like that? Cause the nerve. It's like be not afraid. Oh, I'm gonna be afraid and I'm going to die at that. Cause the nerve, you come in my room and tell me not to be afraid.
Sir, this is the most terrifying experience of my life.
Right, like, oh my God. Like I
Mm-mm.
that's crazy.
Be not afraid.
And a lot of Christians don't believe that. And I was like, did y'all not read the book of Ezekiel? And
Oh, it's all there.
uh he told y'all literally what they look like. See, that's another thing. We're gonna have to get in between the difference between religion and your belief with God. Because these religions will have you fucked up. Real, that would get you nowhere near heaven when it's time for you to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, now let me ask you guys this. Do you believe when people say like, oh, my mom or people that passed on, like my mom came back to me in the dream, or that my mom visited me, or my father or my child, to let me know they doing good and everything? Do y'all believe? Because I believe in familiar spirits, but at the same time, could that be possibly be the spirit of their loved one? Maybe. Now, to the Christian world, they'd be like, "Oh no, those are demons, demons," you know. So, it's just like they're familiar spirits. I believe in them on that too, but I heard plenty of stories where people about was in a life or death situation, and their loved one pretty much came and saved. I watched this guy video where he seen his mom pretty much her spirit move him out away from getting shot. from the bullet to go in his heart. And my thing is, if that was a demon, they wouldn't do that.
No, a demon would not do that. A
You
demon
know, so
let it
yeah.
happen.
Or a family member
Or
come and give you a warning and stuff about something gonna happen, and then it happens, and you be like, "Oh my goodness! Thank God they came and warned me." A demon wouldn't
Mhm.
do that. That's
A
what I'm
demon would
saying.
just let it happen, or
Yeah.
they would be
Or
the main one to do it. You know,
right.
demons attack. You know, that's the whole purpose of demons. Demons are nothing to be messed around with. You know, demons are the spiritual beings that go out their way to attack people, and they feed off of that because that's how they keep themselves alive.
Demon and the principalities. A lot of people don't know demons and principalities and evil spirits are different things. Principalities are the ones that like God literally had to bound and chain, because if he would have let them roam the earth like evil spirits or demons, there will be no humanity left. So those are two of them is in the Euphrates rivers, but the principalities, them, those are the ones that also got kicked out of heaven along with the other fallen angels. But when they say principalities, everybody better know those are the biggest and strongest fallen angels. And if you ask me, they're probably more powerful than Lucifer himself.
Mm.
So yeah, but like you said, I believe that no, you shouldn't tap into the spirit world and try to contact the dead, because that will give some demons leeway to act like the person you try to come in contact with. Like I would say, stay away from them. You know. So, but yeah, because the devil is the author of confusion, and that's what he teach. The demons and stuff. I believe that stuff is real. Like, so what do you think, face mass face?
Interesting concept.
And so yeah, do you believe that loved ones can come and visit you or warn you, or you think they just all demons?
Oh, I definitely believe that. When I was in high school, I had this friend who, for his privacies, he was going through a lot. And while we was comforting him during lunch, he felt a shiver, Allah felt a shiver like someone was hugging him, and then he was like, then he relaxed. It was like something was hugging him. Maybe maybe a relative or some a deceased relative was hugging him. He felt comfortable. He felt relaxed.
Okay.
Is this because of endorphins? I don't think so. I don't believe that. He looked he looked comfortable, like he was actually in peace.
Yes, yeah.
One
So
night in sleep, I
So,
heard my dad call my name.
so in that retrospect, that was, you know,
And in all honesty, sorry to interrupt you, Milamoka. Queen Q, I was on my phone and got distracted. I'm sorry.
okay, he didn't
My
have to say
apologies.
that.
um, so with my opinion, I believe that it's real, but I also believe that sometimes those aren't always, you know, I mean, like the reassurance, the love. I mean, like when you have like what Mass just said that with his involving his friend, you know, his friend felt comfortable, relaxed, at peace, that he felt loved. So I mean, I believe that there are spirits that that can come into our lives and make us feel like that, and you know, do I believe that those are loved ones? Yeah, yeah. Your loved ones aren't going to, that your loved ones that are no longer here, they have a way of reassuring us that everything's going to be okay, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that's one of the most beautiful things to experience. I also, I also believe that a lot of times that those, sometimes when spirit enters our dreams, that's not always necessarily your loved ones to a certain extent, because spirits have a way of manipulating themselves at times. So I mean, like, only you know. It's interesting. Only you would know whether that's your loved one or not, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I
Right.
don't think anybody else can actually experience that. It's just something that you have to experience for yourself.
Right. And I agree. I agree. And some Christians will be like, well, the dead knows nothing because they're in the ground sleeping. But that's what's that scripture in the Bible? Oh dang. But scripture in the Bible be like, your spirit up your body may be in the ground sleeping, but your spirit is up in heaven with God. And people don't realize that, like, cause you do got a lot of Christians out here that says present in, oh God, what, we need to find the scripture now. I just had it in my head. Look at Satan trying to block it in my head. But basically, like, your body will be in a ground if you're buried, if you did not get cremated, because that's another thing too. A lot of people are cremated. If you were buried, your body is in the ground, but your spirit, which would be out of the body, would be up in heaven or down in hell. So when the Bible do talk about, after, judgment day and everybody get new bodies that was in heaven back, that old body that's buried in the ground transfer into a new body. And
Yeah,
even when people get cremated, that you know their
you are
body
rebooted.
that's still the dust whatever of their body, you know create into something new.
Mhm.
And I just feel like, no, nobody don't is not sleeping right now. I believe that their bodies is either burnt or buried in the ground, but their spirit, because your spirit will rise as soon as you die. Your spirit will leave your body. That's what people don't understand. So you can't not be your spirit be cannot stay in the ground sleeping until the second coming or the rapture of what you believe has happened. No, your spirit literally separates itself from your body.
Body.
And either that spirit is gonna be heaven, hell, purgatory, or whatever. Like I told y'all, like my great aunt, she literally seen her body, was looking over her body while the paramedics was trying to bring her back to life. So that lets you know her spirit was out of her body. And there's so many people that's would contest who have life a death experience where they seen their body laying down, you know.
I'm
And
pretty
then
sure.
you see your body. Then you see your body.
Me?
Uh huh.
No. I was so focused on the new things that I was seeing that I probably.
Oh.
I was being
Yeah.
pulled. I was being
Yeah.
pulled into the light, so I wasn't
Oh
focused
yeah.
on my body. I just was looking. I was just stargazed at the light.
Right.
I didn't even care about my. I didn't even care to look back because I was just so drawn in. I've never felt so drawn to something in my whole entire life, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I was literally being pulled into something. It's almost like it was inevitable. Like,
Oh.
so yeah,
Don't
it's
mean
weird
to
because
don't
like I
mean
was
to
able.
cut you off. Don't mean to cut you off. It came back to me. It's absent from the body, present with the Lord. That's in Second Corinthians 5:8. So yeah, absent from the body, and your spirit is present with the Lord. Go right here. That's the scripture that I
Yeah,
forgot that Satan was trying to block out of my mind.
but yeah, like I was, but mind you, I think I said before, like, I was still able to see behind me too. I just didn't see my body because I was so focused on whatever it is that I was seeing and being pulled into. So, I was literally going through those stairs, those transparent stairs, and I was still able to see what was in front of me and what was behind me. But I didn't see my body
But
though.
you know what? A little boy, I gotta find his video. I'm pretty sure I could find his video on TikTok. Little boy have a life and death experience. He went up to heaven, and he was explaining how when he was going forward, he could see everything from the back of him, um, and in front of him and all around. Like, he was talking about how cool it was because
I thought it was.
in heaven you get to fly and then you get to see, you don't didn't have to turn a certain direction to see what's there. You could go forward and at the same time you could see what's behind you. And it makes me want to think that's probably why we get headaches when we in our body, because we only see in one direction instead of all four all around. Maybe that's why we get headaches.
I'm getting one right now.
Right. Maybe right here. If your
Oh,
mid
wait.
if your like if you get a real headache in the middle of your forehead, your third eye,
Oh, yeah, it's right here.
your
Like,
third eye
literally
is
right
trying
now.
to come through. Like, wait a second, you can't keep
It's
me in for
literally right.
now.
And it
Yeah,
just started.
me too. Yes, like let's just think about. I would think how cool that would be. Your vision, you could see everywhere. You could go only forward, backwards. It doesn't matter. You can see all over. That has to be some gangster stuff for real.
I don't know. That was a different experience for me. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was different. And it was unbelievable. It was very unbelievable. I didn't even, it just didn't feel real. It didn't feel real, but at the same time, I knew that it was.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's a lot of experiences. That's why I want to do a part two, because I want to invite people on the panel, the people we know, to get their input, or at least get somebody else that experienced life after death. That would be good, to hear their side of the story too, because it's deep. The spiritual world is deep, and people don't realize spiritual warfare, which is going on right now. It's a lot of stuff that even if you didn't go to church, that they brainwashed you that it's only just angels and demons, but not realizing where aliens came from, reptilians came from. I'm speaking a lot just on me on YouTube. You know how they be. But other entities, that's what the other entities and deities that existed, that a lot of people, even our grandparents, how old they are, never knew, still will argue you down and tell you that it doesn't exist. So, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. And then the Orishas. That's what we're gonna have to get, you know, Dee Dee on here, our classmate, Ohio Media School. Shout out Ohio Media School. She says she's a daughter of a Shun, so we could get her input of what the afterlife is for the followers of the Orishas. And some people say you will sin as gods and stuff. Now,
Mm.
you know how you ain't supposed to call yourself God, but I'm gonna let them
Mm-hmm.
type of people you gonna go over there.
Oh, there's a lot of them out here calling themselves God.
No, like you're playing
Mm.
fire.
Before you go,
Ooh,
don't
a
play
So
lot.
God. That's the one thing you never do as a mortal human being. You don't play God. Ever.
yeah, no, yeah, that's one thing. God is the first and the life, first truth and the life. But I think it's crazy, and I think even with hell, there's levels of hells too. It is crazy. And I watched something where, no, this person said that he's seen kids in hell, but it's more like preteens. But there always been an age of accountability. And I always told the age of accountability is between 11 and 13 years old. So I don't believe there's no way in hell that a 4-year-old could be in hell. Because there was people in comments was like, well, age of accountability starts at 4. They at 4 or 2 years old, they realize what's right and wrong. Like, can you be that stupid? Like,
God loves his
Real.
children.
right. Like, put a
God
4-year-old next to a 12-year-old.
They do not know.
Exactly. A
They do
12-year-old
not know.
is fully aware of what's right and wrong. A 4-year-old, aka a toddler, is only going to do toddler shit. They're gonna run into stuff, break stuff around the house, probably
Steal
bite
candy.
people
Like,
and
what?
everything. But a 4-year-old is not going to murder a person like a 12-year-old can. You feel me? So
Trying to murder someone in the
like,
first place.
come on now, you never heard of a 4-year-old or a 2-year-old that murdered somebody.
Like, you going straight to hell for stealing that Kit Kat bar.
Exactly, and on purpose. So when people in comments about, oh, the age accountability starts at 2 or 4 because they know from right from wrong, shut up. Y'all sound stupid as hell. Like, no, the age accountability that I believe is preteen age. So and then the guy, he said the kids that he seen was around that age to preteen age. People in the comments, they be so loud and wrong, like God is really gonna have a 4-year-old or a 2-year-old in hell burning. Like, are y'all serious?
I believe that the youth is saved because they do not know. A lot of
they see a peer,
especially in this new generation, because a lot of parents ain't taking their kids to church like they should,
and they ain't even telling them little stuff for right for wrong to begin with.
Mm-hmm. So they don't
them early, so they know. So they won't go out there and
meanwhile,
figure it.
Meanwhile, audience, all the parents that are listening to us, you all know who the Most High is, but your kid don't. They don't even have an idea because y'all don't take the time to even teach or show them who the Most High is.
Right.
But regardless, anyways, the youths are saved. Youths are not going to go to hell. Yes, there are some really bad freaking seeds out there, but that doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to hell.
But there's really bad seeds because that's in their DNA because the fucked up shit that their parents did. So you wonder why
they get into.
Like, you wonder why your son is just as a bigger demon as you because he got that from you. So
in that case, that youth is saved, because they was brought up in an environment learning from what they saw their mama and daddy doing.
And if I may have a say in this, have my 2 cents of input, in some cases it's not the parents. It's sometimes also it's just the kid. It's the youth's interest. Like a parent can be clean as a whistle, but their offspring, their child, can be into some type of crazy gun unwielding gang banging, anything illegal and anything illegal. They can get into that, and if their parent is like, oh, nothing's gonna happen to him or her, they're fine. They're fine.
But also the piggyback on what you said, Maz, is that like you could be the best mother or father you can be, and you wonder why your 10-year-old son is out here acting like a whole demon. You need to realize what energy, what company you putting your kids around, because energy and demonic and evil spirits could jump on from one kid. They could go over your friend's house, and good and well you should have been cut that friend off, but not only the friend is messed up, but their kids is messed up as well.
True.
And that type of energy, demonic energy, that evil spirit or evil energy jump off from their kid and come on your kid, and now you wonder why your kid is messed up in the head and all that type of stuff. That's another thing. You can need people need to watch out, because we, like as adults, say, well, we need to stay away from that negative energy. You need to realize as a parent what type of negative energy that you are bringing your kids around. I'm not talking about teenagers, because we all know that teenagers, they're gonna do what they want to do, but and they could go over friends' house on their own. That's not a good look. I mean, not good to be around with. But we're talking about kids. Like, you're bringing your kids around messed up people that you yourself shouldn't even be around in the first place.
Or some weird eardos that definitely can't be near children whatsoever.
Shout out to the great parents out there that goes out their
Shout
way.
out to them.
It's
Yeah, facts. And that's why I say, like, there's no every parent is not perfect by
no.
all means, but at the same time, we at the age we in the day and time, but more people practice witchcraft than ever, and people will be surprised what type of evil spell their so-called friend is putting on them and their kids. So your child's walking around with a evil spirit in them because some girl that you hang around with didn't even like you or jealous of you, and she placed something on you and on you and your kid, especially your kid. Now you wonder what's going on. But I feel like that's to piggyback off of what Mass said, is like you said, like you could be the best parent you could be, and you raise your kid right, and all of a sudden they just start acting weird and strange and bad as hell, no good and well, like they never act like that before. And why are you like that? It's because of the type of company you keep around your kids. So yeah, so that's deep. So I definitely agree with you on that, Mass.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are about to be in the 1 o'clock hour. Well, we have 7 minutes left that we could discuss about, continue to discuss about the afterlife. I feel like on my end, there is an afterlife. You just don't die, and that's just it. Whatever. I
It
believe
definitely
there's
is.
more to the spiritual world than just heaven and hell. And unless you experience a piece of life after death, nobody else that's still living don't know until they actually died and been there for a long time to know what's really going on. Could you imagine the people that
Yeah.
been dead for a long time that had a chance to come back into this world, into this dimension, that could tell their story while they've been gone?
Mm.
That's some
Hmm.
wild stuff.
Oh shoot!
And
You know
people are gonna
what?
be
If
like,
someone ever did that, like that'll be all over the news. That'll be
It would,
global. And
the
you know
internet would
what?
be crashed.
Yeah,
mhm,
you'll be shoot. Area 51 will snatch you up.
Uh-huh.
And
Like,
you
dude, you
won't
were
ever
there
live
for
the
40
normal
years.
life after coming back here.
they're
Like,
gonna erase. They're gonna erase everything about you, every information from every website or forbidden websites. They're
they
gonna erase it.
they gonna keep you for research studies. They'll never let you go back out.
yeah.
You
Because I'm
know,
gonna put them in the SCP
they like to
Foundation.
control. They like to control information. They don't want people knowing the truth.
Right.
That's why I said like they'll make
Exactly.
sure you'll never get out.
Yeah, they hate the
So,
truth. They hate the truth for sure. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. But could you imagine if, like, even a person that been gone for 2 years, if they come back like a relative, and they be like, bro, let me tell you, what I experienced, like, it's crazy too. And what's crazy, 2 years went by, but to them, it probably was only like 5 minutes. But
5 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, and that would be interesting. I wonder when everybody all died and God cracked the sky, if everybody be able to tell their story. I don't know. Well, about like what was it like when they first died? Like that would that would be crazy. Like I thought it was gonna be this, but then it's really this, and it's shocking. It yeah, it's just crazy.
It's a whole nother realm out there.
Realms with S's.
And the S, yes.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of realms and stuff. But I believe the highest realm is where God lives at and everything. And you know, to even end it, I'm gonna post the video once I find it. I saved that video. I just gotta find it, people. With this girl, you know, she had a life death after experience, and the first time around, and she was confused because she was raised in the church. Was like, oh my goodness, this it's not really real. And then the second time around, you know, God came to her in her bedroom, pretty much was like, yeah, I'm real. Like it was crazy. I got to post that video. It was just like God was like, don't play with me like that. I'm real. Okay? Don't play with me. So, but what she experienced the first time around, it was just like had her questioning stuff when she came back to life, like, wow, everything that I've been taught my whole life about what happens when I die was a lie. But that second time around, it's just like, okay, well, he's real. So, so yes, I think this was a great discussion, fellas. So, you know, hopefully, you know, not next week or the week after. We're gonna try to make it next Monday. If not next Monday, definitely the week after, because we gotta do our investigation next week. But other than that, this was a great conversation. So everybody, I like, comment, subscribe to our channel. And I am Queen Q.
McMask.
And this is Mela Mocha here.
And we are out. Make sure y'all keep an open mind, stay dangerous.
And stay tuned.
Don't blink or you'll miss it.
That's what I was waiting for. Peace.
You